Hi everybody, welcome back to another Let's Be Real analysis series, and today we'll be talking about Elta, which is in Clementi area. Technically, like what Mel always say, we really got no break. Yes, we really got no break until I got no voice already.
We only can hope lah.
Yeah, can hope. Then we will wing it lah. Okay, so right now, without further ado, let's get into the Elta. Right now, we are looking at the Elta. Basically, it's just Elta lah. Okay, it's actually one of the first launch in Clementi. In 4 years' time, the last launch is actually Clermont. So we can see down here, Elta is actually quite similar to Ori in many ways. We actually have two blocks. High one, basically 39 story each. 36 story from level 4 to 39, which we will explain to you a little bit later. So this project is actually right smack in the middle of Clermont and also the Clermont Canopy.
I think recently all the developers like to launch two twin towers.
Actually, I also prefer it this way. Analysis easier.
A bit more exclusive also, right?
Yes, if you wait for Park Town, this one really take up half my brain already.
I will tell you about Park Town later.
Which is coming up next. Okay, so without further ado, next one, we go into the project information.
Okay, so project information, this is actually a joint venture between MCL Land and CSC Land. We actually have two towers like we mentioned. Actually, we have two blocks, Block 10 and Block 12. Is this familiar to you?
Quite familiar lah.
Ori also Block 10 and Block 12.
Correct. Block 10 and Block 12. And a good thing with this kind of two development, right, is that there's no blockage because it's either you're facing one side or you're facing another side. You don't get any inner neighbors looking into your house.
So total we have 501 units. Estimated TOP will be actually at 2029.
Correct. Okay, so next will be the unit breakdown. We have them in 1 bedder plus study all the way to 5 bedder. And if you want to see the percentage of the unit split, you can actually refer to this chart on the right side.
Actually, generally speaking, there's only the 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom premium, and 3-bedroom that has 2 stacks.
Correct.
The rest is all one stack. Very straightforward.
Correct. Which is quite good lah, because 1 bedder, they don't really have a lot of 1 bedder.
Correct.
Which we will get to you later. Okay. So next,
MCL, we have a very reputable developer. What else do they develop?
Okay, so basically for the Elta, I keep saying the Elta, but it's just Elta. Okay, but basically for Elta, they are developed by MCL, and also the next one is CSC Land. Okay, so basically some of the developments that they developed recently is the Tembusu Grand, which is in the east side. We know that it's very popular, very hot, and also Nava Grove.
Yep.
Nava Grove personally has one of my most favorite layout.
I also, yes, I love it.
Same? Okay, that's good. And then for CSC, same Verdale, which is in the Bukit Timah area, and also Twin View. So Twin View, a little bit of background, is also in District 5 area. You are very near the Whistler Grand, Park Rivera area, which we will compare a little bit to later as well.
Clementi lah, they are in the same belt as well. Okay, so next, sorry, but next let's go into the location area. So location, I mean Elta, we are right next to AYE lah. I think that was a given. But in terms of convenience wise, we are actually just a 2 minutes drive to Clementi MRT.
Correct.
Then we get a Clementi Mall, you got 321 Mall. Actually, if you drive further down, maybe there's West Coast Plaza. There's also Star Vista, Holland Village.
Yes.
Actually, we're actually very, very well connected.
Yeah, very well connected, surrounded by a lot of many retails and dining. But we also want to highlight that we are also in the education belt zone because you're near a lot of tertiary school, a lot of secondary school and primary school, which we'll touch on later.
Yep.
Some of them are not within 1 kilometer, but basically it's still a short drive away lah.
Correct. So just like we mentioned, we are near Clementi MRT, which is just one stop to Jurong East MRT, which you can change to your red line lah.
Correct, over here, just one stop.
Actually, 2 stops down, Buona Vista, where you have your Metro Police, Fusion Police, all the police, where you have the Circle Line.
Yes.
And that is why Clementi actually has a very, very strong rental.
Correct. So as you can see, just now what we mentioned is we are actually near the Jurong Lake District area, just one stop away, where there's a lot of innovation, a lot of offices, a lot of all this kind of maybe grade A offices coming in as well. We got the rental pool from there.
Correct.
Also, we also have another one that is at 1 North, which is all the police that you mentioned earlier. But basically, they are all the biomedical sciences and media company, which is also from there. And a lot of them are actually looking at the green line, especially in Clementi.
Correct.
In fact, we are actually one direct line to Tanjong Pagar and Raffles Place, where most of the CBD.
To them, it's very convenient.
Very convenient. Okay, so next, education belt, like what we mentioned earlier, we have
tertiary, we have Singapore Poly and Ngee Ann Poly, which is actually renowned polys in Singapore lah, right? Then we also SIM, NUS,
yes.
Yeah, so but secondary school, actually just right opposite Elta, we have Nanhua High. It's a very good school.
Yes, it's actually a very, very popular school. We are also within 2 kilometers to your Nanhua Primary thereabout. Within 1 kilometer, you are looking at probably Pei Tong Primary School.
Correct.
And we also have multiple preschool over here for you to look at. So basically, we are surrounded by education, by the CBD area, by good location. Not just that, got one I never put in a slide, is we are actually near a lot of greens, like the forested area, the Dover Forest, Bukit Timah Forest, and also if you are someone that likes to hike, like me, last time the me. So I think it will be quite interesting to stay in that area where there is actually a lot of greens lah. Okay? Yeah. Okay.
So next we have the site location. So like just now, like we mentioned, on our left is Clementi, on our right is Clevon, opposite us is Nanhua High.
Correct. And then of course we will have some units that is actually facing the AYE. Some unit is the Clementi Avenue 1. But actually interestingly, right, if I can skip a little bit, in terms of facing wise, the more premium stack is actually
the AYE facing.
The AYE facing.
Which is
highly likely, which is quite interesting. We won't know right now, but the speculation or like discuss among our team and all is likely the AYE side, which we will explain to you why later.
I mean, there's a good reason for it, right? Because if you go further up, like all the way up, you actually get a sea view.
Yes, which we will show you shortly. So basically, this is actually where we are, which is at Elta. You can see that the block ending, right, is actually here. So there is actually swimming pool and tennis court that acts as a setback towards the AYE area. And also developers these days, they're quite smart lah, huh? They actually install like acoustic ceiling for you.
They know the complaints.
They also know the complaints. But surprisingly, actually, I was just telling her earlier on, like one of my best friends actually stays at Park Riviera. When I bring buyers to these clusters, generally they are okay. They know they are coming, what they are coming into already.
They know what they bought into.
Yeah, they know that there is expressway and they want that kind of unblocked view. So they are okay with it.
So I guess for the unblocked view, it's a trade-off lah. I mean, you have to have some sound.
Correct.
You take it as white noise lah.
After a while, they tell me they cannot hear anything. I'm like, are you sure? Like I can hear, you know, but they're like, oh no, I cannot hear anything. And I was just sharing with her earlier on, is the only place that I find myself sleeping on a friend's couch. Yeah, because it's very breezy, very windy.
I guess it has its good points lah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually the view that is from level 20.
Actually, level 20 is only halfway through.
Halfway through until 39, right?
Yeah.
And you can already see a little bit of pocket sea view, landed view. This kind of view really hard to come by lah. True or not? Okay, next we can see in terms of setback, we can see from this distance, wow, my eye a bit cannot.
52 to 55 meters.
Correct, from here to here lah. But until AYE is about, this one is 56.3 and 57.6 meters. Still quite a distance to AYE already. So basically this is actually where the entrance is.
Correct.
And then after that you will take this level 3 sky bridge all the way to the residential block, and then after that the pool area is actually on level 4. So which we'll explain a bit later.
So and also right, because basically we were actually debating where the premium facing is, right? But actually based on this site plan, you actually realize that the larger units are actually towards the AYE facing.
Correct.
That's why we also think that actually maybe the AYE facing is the higher floor. AYE facing will be the premium one lah.
Correct. Actually I spoke to the team at Elta that day when I went down. So basically if you notice, this is actually 8 units per floor. This is actually 6 units per floor. So 3 on each side. So highly likely this is actually
block
the
10.
premium block. Yeah. And actually this whole unit 1, 2, 3 over here is actually the exact unit for at the show flat, which is the 4 dual key, 5 bedder, and also the 2+ study.
Right.
Okay. So a bit no-brainer that actually the premium facing is this facing. Yeah, I mean you can guess from here already. Okay.
So this one that you just mentioned, the ground level 1 is where you come in, right? Then after you can take a lift up, then there's a sky bridge to level 3. And the pool deck is actually at level 4. So then actually the multi-story car park is actually until level 3 only.
Correct. We have a basement car park
We also still have a basement car park.
1, 2, 3. So the car park will be likely this side, below this side lah. And then after that, so you can see that the bigger pool and the spa pool and all, they're all level 4. But the quite smart, the kids pool, the playground and the tennis court is actually level 1 below. Yeah, so you can't really hear the noise.
I guess.
So I think it's quite smart of a distribution in terms of like, all the facilities and all.
So the first level of Elta actually starts from level 4 lah.
Yes, for level 4, but there are some don't have level 4 unit, meaning to say some actually starts from level 5 and above.
Okay.
So there are certain stack that is like that. Also for this project itself, there is actually 2 function room. One of them is I think over here. The other one is towards this side, 4th floor.
Fourth floor.
Fourth floor, yeah. And this one is actually a very private corner on its own. Basically, if you book this one, nobody will come to you because it's on level 3. Anybody that comes is an intruder already. You can ask them to bye-bye, go away. Okay, so other than that, next one, I think there is a few barbecue court lah. Some
Barbecue
of them,
court.
barbecue pit. So barbecue pit is over here, but there is actually one barbecue pit is here. I heard that one is the charcoal one.
Okay.
Not every project nowadays give you a charcoal pit.
Because they all have to do the teppanyaki style.
Teppanyaki style, but I need the charcoal. It's very
nicer,
important.
right?
Yeah, so they have it. Okay, so if you need to know exactly what facilities they have, you can just stop at this page and have a look, or you can contact either one of us. We can actually give you the site map plan. Okay? So next, okay, actually this one I 讲完了. Finish already. But basically what I meant is we have 2 towers over here.
Correct.
Okay. This is the one with 6 unit. This is the one with 8 unit. The one that I put the pink dot beside it is the one that is in the show flat for this block. And likely they are going to be a premium one.
And also I realized, right, that most units here are actually loaded in the 2-bedroom segment.
Correct, over here.
About 35.7%, which this portion, right, is important to know what to go for if you're looking for a 2-bedroom unit here at Elta, which we will go through in a bit.
Correct. Alright, next. Okay, Mel, every single time when we go through this, we always talk about layout, right? So it gets a bit boring lah. We don't want to keep saying the same thing, again and again. So this time round, a bit more challenging, but we did a bit more in-depth research for you guys. Basically, we come up with a pricing strategy for Elta.
Correct. So we'll use Nava Grove actually. Why Nava Grove?
Okay, number one, because it's developed by the same developer. So MCL, usually developer, most of the time they will have similar kind of like pricing strategy. They won't differ too much to it.
Yep.
I think that's one. Second is they are also high-rise building.
Correct.
So again, they have one that is actually forest facing, which is the road facing, the more premium stack facing, right? Which ours also, you want to see the sea view, we give you highway first.
So okay. Nava Grove, there's the forest facing and there's like the condo facing. So
correct,
I think it's like quite relatable to this Elta because we have AYE facing and the school facing.
Correct. So without further ado, let's look at the Nava Grove forest facing 2-bedder, 700 square feet.
So why we choose this forest facing? Because it's the more premium one that is premium facing in Nava Grove, right? So actually when we worked out the numbers, long story short, basically there's about the per floor jump is about 8,500 to 9,000 per floor. Average
about 0.5.
About 0.5. Right? So then we will actually have to find out, is this the same for the non-premium facing?
Correct. So then later when we go into our 1-bedder, 2-bedder, we will also use this pricing strategy of 0.5% per floor jump to do a gauge on how much it costs.
Correct.
Okay? Alright, so now is the Pine Grove facing. 3-bedder.
So this is the condo facing,
correct,
which is kind of blocked in a way. However, we realized that the developer strategy is the same. They just use the Excel spreadsheet, right? Just drag. So but for the non-premium facing, we are actually expecting a 0.4% premium per floor jump. So then we know this developer 就是这样 price 的.
Yeah, correct. Actually quite similar to the premium facing, which is at 0.5% anyways. Next is the Pine Grove facing, again, the not so premium but the 4-bedder. So we can see similarly average per floor jump is still 0.4% if we average it out.
Correct.
Alright, so now price prediction for Elta.
Okay, so we'll go a little bit more in depth for this one. So the difference in land price, right, for Ori and Elta is actually $149 PSF per plot ratio. Right, so if let's say we use Ori as like a gauge, right, Ori starting price is 2,500 PSF, right? So if let's say we use a 2+ study at Ori, which is about 700 square feet, that works out to be about 1.75 million.
Correct.
Right. So if let's say I'm a developer, I want to have this amount of money, right?
Correct.
So if let's say I use 1.75, we assume that both developers actually have the same profit. So we use 1.75 and we divide it by the Elta's 2-bedroom plus study, which is actually larger at 807 square feet. Then that works out to 2,100 PSF.
2,168 so we'll round off to about 2,002. So these days developers are quite smart. They don't really focus so much on just PSF. They actually focus on quantum because at the end of the day, that's the amount that they want to earn.
Correct. But PSF doesn't really tell the full story.
Correct. So we are just using this as a guide throughout our whole analysis based on this strategy and based on $2,200. Okay, so now let's go into our 1-bedder plus study analysis. So,
I think 1 plus study we're getting a bit bored. Yeah.
I think you all also get a bit bored, right? Every time when we talk about the floor plan, it's the same. Basically, the door come in, study is either here or here. I think it's one bedder. You cannot really play around that much. Then kitchen is usually open concept. Okay, if there is a one bedder with a tuck-in kitchen, those will be very rare, and we will likely
So far,
point
I
out.
haven't seen it lah. So
I
far
think
for the launches.
there is, but the recent launches don't have lah.
Yeah.
So for one bedder also, the facing wise is actually towards the Clementi Avenue one,
Correct.
which is the school facing area.
Correct.
We only have one stack, so only 36 units.
Which is actually good also lah. I mean, like, it's compared to last time when they actually built a lot of small units. Now, especially when 1 plus study, not so easy to exit as compared to the larger unit types.
Right.
So when they actually only build one stack for this, I think it's ideal lah.
It's ideal lah. You don't want to have too many and then maybe you have a lot of the leftovers and all.
Correct.
So just now, since we're talking about price prediction, next we go into the price prediction for Elta 1 plus study. So like we say, assuming that it's 2,200 PSF, right? We already worked out the math for you. So if you want to know, you pause here.
You can take a screenshot.
Take a screenshot. You roughly know from level 4 to level 39 what is the quantum that we are looking at.
Correct.
So level 4, the lower floor will be about 1.113. The highest floor likely you're looking at 1.344. And 1.344 these days is actually the starting price for a lot of one bedder.
Yeah.
I'm talking about low floor, by the way.
Yeah. So the pricing strategy, we use 0.5% premium lah, just for simplicity's sake. Like,
Correct.
0.4, 0.6.
Correct. But I gotta say that if let's say the developer on that day really start from this price, is very, very attractive.
Correct.
Okay, so take note on that. So next, we are still concentrating on one bedder, but we'll be talking about the rental yield between low floor and high floor.
Actually, do you think it makes a difference? If you're the tenant,
No. Yeah,
You don't
I
care,
just
right?
want
You
a
just want
roof
it cheap,
over
right?
my roof over my head. I want it new roof over my head. So basically now we look at, okay, for example, Elta is 506 square feet. We only have 36 units.
Yep.
Clairvon is 527. Actually, 差不多, not too big.
Comparable.
72 units. So we look at the latest transacted price. Level 4, right, is transacted at 3,006. Level 27 is only 3,007 多一个100.
So I think the only
more.
difference, right, if let's say you have a high floor and low floor, it's just that if I go to see these two units and they're asking the same price, then I'll go for the high unit lor.
Yeah, no wrong.
That's all lor.
Yeah, correct. So assuming that we take an average, let's say about 3,600 lah. So if you are buying in a low floor at Elta at $1.113, $200, your rental yield you're looking at 3.9.
It's actually
That's
extremely
super
good.
Good rental yield, yeah, correct. But if you're buying at a high floor, which what we predicted just now at 1.344, your rental yield is about 3.2. Significantly, there's a difference already,
Correct.
right? So can buy high floor or not?
I mean,
Still can
sure.
buy.
I mean, there are people who actually buy this for own stay, not
Correct,
100% for
correct,
investment, right?
correct.
So high floor, you will still enjoy a certain good view lah, right?
Correct. And also do take note that next time when you're in a resale market, then people go by emotion, right?
High floor easier to sell lah.
Of course, and you have more people coming for viewing as well. So long as you manage the price, you don't go overboard and ask for
Correct.
a sky high price, likely your unit might sell first.
Correct.
Just because it's higher floor. So take note of that. Okay, now we look at Clairvon one bedder past transacted.
Why we actually put focus on this, right, is because the transacted prices in Clairvon has already been like, what, 2,000 PSF?
Over here, 2,000 plus PS. Sorry, cover
Right.
it, 2,000 plus PSF.
So if, say, Elta is launching at
100 plus more.
2,122, actually the price gap between new and resale is very, very small.
Correct. That's why actually Elta is also still something for you to actually look at, because in terms of resale and new launch, right, the price gap is very, very close for now.
Yep. Just now we're talking about profitability, right? Right.
correct.
So 1 plus study can make money.
There you can see, this is Clairvon one, Clairvon one bedder. When they purchase it and then their sale, and this is the profit segment, you can see that most of them actually profit around 100 plus to 200 plus, even for a one bedder.
I think it's quite decent for one bedder.
Quite decent, yes. Okay, so now let's go to the supply. This one we will not dive too much into it. If you want to know, please watch my Ori video, which I will link at the back of my video. So basically, just want to let you know that after 17 Jan, there is a bit of changes in terms of some guidelines. You can see that there is actually way lesser one bedder that is available in the market now as compared to before 17 Jan, which you see what people are doing like 100 over one bedder, 400 over one bedder, 388 one bedder in a condo.
excessive.
Yeah, correct. And then ours, we only have how many in Elta?
36.
Yeah. Okay, so we can also see that the supply of one bedder in the whole of Clementi actually not a lot. We took out most of the condo and then we find out their one bedder actually only have 450 out of 4,000 over unit. That's only 11%.
I think it's a fair percentage.
Correct. So a lot of people are concerned if they buy in one bedder, next time can they sell or not? Is it like too many supply until it's very hard to sell? But actually in Clementi, so this kind of thing is really estate by estate. Some estate really got a lot.
If there's too many, then avoid buying this kind of unit types. If it's a Clementi kind of like this kind of ratio, right, I think it's still safe to go for one bedder if actually require. Yeah. And the rental yield is good.
And the rental yield is high also.
Okay, next we'll go into two bedder analysis. So for two bedder, right, we have three different types lah. 2 bed 1 bath, 2 bed 2 bath, 2 bed plus study. Right, so we'll start with the 2 bed 1 bath. We have two different types. We have B1 and B2.
Here you go, both same size. You just have one that is actually facing the Clementi Avenue 1 and one that is facing AYE. So it's for you to choose for. If you want to know the price breakdown, again, pause at this page because we already counted for you 2002 to 2006. We don't think that it will exceed 2006 at this point in time.
Correct.
So at least you can see, in terms of the spread, maybe like level 4, 614 square feet, 2002 is about 1.350 until 2600. How much is the quantum lah?
Correct.
Okay. In terms of size, in terms of layout, they are pretty much similar. Dumbbell layout. It's just that this one is a little bit more staggered out. So it feels like here got a little bit more privacy. This one, because the kitchen is stacked at one side, so the moment you come in, you can see the whole house. That's about it.
Yeah. Recently, I feel like all the floor plans are like playing tricks on our eyes.
Yeah.
We really need to like
scrutinize to even see, what's the difference. But basically not too much of a difference.
Correct.
Okay?
So assuming that the price starts from 2,200 PSF, level 4 be 1.35.
Correct.
Level 39 be 1.36.
Correct. This is based on a per floor jump of 0.5%.
And this is 2 bed 1 bath. 1.35, right? Only can buy one bedroom in other places.
Yes. And also, again, like I say, low floor.
Second disclaimer.
Okay, so next we go into our 2 bed 2 bath. So 2 bed 2 bath sizes, of course, we up a little bit. Both is actually, again, the same size, 700 square feet. Just that one is facing, again, school. The other one is facing AYE. On the left and right.
Narrower.
Correct. We already do the price breakdown for you. So you can actually take that as an example. Likely is about 1.54 starting from. In terms of layout, actually got difference or not?
Walkway slightly longer, narrower walkway.
Yeah, this one is slightly narrower and this one is actually slightly wider.
I mean, for the right side one, you will feel that if let's say you come in like, something like blocking my way on the right
here
side.
This one, huh? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not a deal breaker I feel.
Yeah, other than that, actually, it's very similar. So actually nothing much for us to talk about in terms of floor plan. That's why this series, we are not focusing on the floor plan also. So in terms of price prediction for Elta, based on whatever that we did just now, 2,200. Level 4, you are looking at 1.54. And level 39, you are looking at 1.86 million.
Yeah.
So same thing per floor jump, about 0.5% premium.
Correct. But for other launches, 2 bed 2 bath, I think can easily hit 2 million.
Correct. By the way, this 0.5%, again, this is the more towards the AYE facing. If it's the school facing, might be slightly a little bit different.
Yep.
Of course, reach out to us. We will, assist you on the day of booking as well. Next.
So it's 2 plus study. So 2 plus study only got one layout So it's 807 square feet. Actually, it's quite huge for a 2 plus study. Don't you think so?
Yes, because for Orvi 2 plus study is 700 square feet, which is the example that we used just now earlier where you mentioned.
Correct.
Also, this is actually in this stack block 10. It's also facing the AYE side. This is the one that you're going to see at the show flat itself. Personally, I went there. I super love this layout because I think the developer quite smart. The ID, they actually put a very big dining over here.
Correct. It makes it look very spacious. So I mean, I think it's a smart design. Right? But unfortunately, as all 2 bedders are, you won't have windows in the toilets. I think that's a given because you're stuck in between two units.
Correct. And actually, okay, not Elta, but there are some other units in other projects they have. So if you want to know who have, you can also ask us. So at least we can tell you. But now we focus on Elta. Okay, so price prediction, again, if assuming that the starting price is 2.2, you are looking at there about 1.775, which is actually very, very much affordable. Yeah, because some of the 2 plus study already crossed the 2 million mark already. Okay, so next we will go into 2 bedder rentability.
So we'll use Clervon as a benchmark. I mean, Clervon is the newest and also right next to Elta, right?
Yes.
So based on Clervon's transaction, I can easily say about 4 plus.
4,000 plus to about 4,500, 4,600 or so, and we are talking about a smaller two-bedder type.
Correct.
Not even a bigger two-bedder type. So for rentability, we will be discussing on a few factors. 2-bed, 1 bath versus 2-bed, 2 bath.
Whether one more bathroom can get you more money.
Yes. Low floor versus high floor. Right, which we sort of touched on it a bit earlier. Expressway facing versus non-expressway facing, and the one that we are comparing with is Clermont.
Yeah. Okay? So as an investor, I guess these are the common concerns, so we'll address it right now.
Correct. So for example, Clermont, now we'll be looking at 2-bed, 1 bath versus 2-bed, 2 bath. Then you can see here 2-bed, 1 bath, 678 square feet, non-highway facing, both non-highway facing lah. Transacted for rental in December is actually $4,100.
Versus 1 more bathroom?
1 more bathroom, $4,600. Okay, not bad. Got improvement,
not bad,
right?
$500.
This one is also non-highway facing. So assuming, let's say Elta 2-bed, 1 bath. Okay, just now we already counted it's about 1.35 million.
Correct.
At 4,100, your monthly rental yield is actually about 3.6%. How to count rental yield? We cannot write down here the formula. If not, it's going to be very confusing. You just reach out to us. It's quite easy to calculate.
So on the other hand, right, for 2-bed, 2 bath, if let's say we use 1.54, right?
Correct.
And actually we use 4,600 monthly rental. Actually, surprisingly, the rental yield is exactly the same.
Yeah, still the same. So actually, which one can buy? Both also okay lah.
Both also can buy. It's just that for the larger 2-bed, 2 bath, right, number one, your outlay is obviously slightly higher than 2-bed, 1 bath. However, when it comes to the resale market, there is a potential chance that the 2-bed, 2 bath is easier to move than the 2-bed, 1 bath.
Correct. Somehow in the resale market, a lot of time emotion comes into play, right? Then a lot of
I
people
don't want to share toilet with you.
I need the extra toilet. I need the extra toilet. So if you're asking me 2-bed, 2 bath and 2-bed, 1 bath, which one easier to say? I would say 2-bed, 2 bath. Yeah. But actually looking at this, because if you are just comparing rental yield, right? Actually both rental yield is on par. So really like what Mel said, depending in terms of quantum, what can you afford? Then we go with that. But pretty much it's quite similar. Next, we go with low floor versus high floor.
So I think quite similar to the one bedroom, right? 4th floor, 4,001. Actually, this one 18th floor also 4,001.
Then you see, actually 4th floor, 18th floor, nobody can. Okay, cannot like that say. Sometimes tenant, no choice. They
right.
want
if let's say there's nothing available, then they only can get that. Sure, but I'm just saying that if let's say I'm a tenant, will I pay like $200 more for a higher floor? I don't think so. I can use that to pay my SP bills.
Yes, exactly. So there you go. So if you are putting it out there, so let's say every month, okay, let's just say Elta, we have a monthly rental because we're newer let's just say 4,200. If we buy in low floor at the 1.350 million range, your rental is 3.7. But if we, based on what we counted, based on 2,200 PSF, right? If you're buying at 39th floor, your rental yield becomes 0.9. A bit lower, 3%.
Still 3 lah.
Still 3 lah.
Still can
not
see
too
3
bad. So at the end of the day, high floor can buy, not can buy. Next time easier to sell. But if you're just investor mindset just for rental, actually no difference lah.
Then
you
buy
can buy
as low
cheaper.
price as possible.
Buy as cheaper as possible. So next, okay, this is again for Clermont. Just now we talked about rental. Now we talk about ROI.
So profitability wise, right? High floor and low floor, to be honest, at the end of the day, once we pull out the data, and some of this is very interesting. This person buy and sell at almost the same time.
Yes, there.
12 December 2020, buy the same day, sell 2 days apart. What are the odds?
Yes.
Okay, so basically the high floor, level 35, they profit about 251,000.
Still a good amount of profit.
Good amount.
Yeah.
But the low floor, the profit 263.
Correct.
Okay, so, the low floor they bought slightly cheaper.
Correct. Right? Usually it's like that. That's why in terms of profit, the lower floor sometimes might profit a bit more. But if you were to ask me, and if it's own stay,
I'll buy the high floor one.
Exactly. The profit is quite similar. I can, enjoy my 3 years there, or like however many years there, looking at the level 33, 35 view. I wouldn't want the second level view lah.
And some of the view is not something that it can be removed.
Correct, because so you can see it cannot remove already. AYE is there, it's not going anywhere. And then the landed housing is also there, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So your view is almost perpetual, forever one. Okay, now last. Is it
highway
the last?
Versus non-highway.
Highway versus non-highway. So AYE versus non-AYE. And we are talking about Clermont here.
Again, as a tenant, I just want it cheap.
Yeah, so actually you can see here AYE average around 4,500, non-AYE average around 4,600. Actually pretty much similar in a way. So whether for tenant, if let's say you're just buying for pure investment, I don't think you need to care too much into whether expressway, non-expressway.
Okay, so we'll move into our 2-bedder top choice. I think we actually have quite a clear stance on this lah. We actually removed the 2+ study for now in the consideration because I think because of the size, right, the quantum is becoming very, very expensive.
Correct.
Like, so if let's say the 2 plus study, it can almost top up a bit for 3-bedder.
If you realize that our 2 plus study is actually 807 square feet, but like Orive 3 room is already 850 square feet already.
Correct. Yeah. So we actually leave the 2-bed 1 bath and the 2-bed 2 bath, right? So, but for 2-bed 1 bath, we actually have a ranking. We will actually go by quantum. Now we actually rank by quantum instead of last time, where we say, okay, this stack is the better one that instead of that stack. But now, because we are actually ranging based on the quantum, so our first choice will be B1, B2, low floor, level 4 to level 15. So estimate about 1.35 to 1.42.
Yeah.
Right. Our second choice will be the B1, B2 mid floor, 16 to 25, 1.43 to 1.5.
Yeah.
And then our last choice will be the B3, B4, level 4 to level 5.
The
low
bigger
floor.
one already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you can see, right, actually the quantum wise is really from 1.3 to 1.6 really.
Correct. So that's why our third choice is actually not the 2-bed 1 bath higher unit, because technically speaking, they are actually the same price as the lower
floor.
unit.
Correct.
Yeah, for 2-bed 2 bath. And then if you have one extra bathroom, then just go ahead lah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So next we can go into our 3-bedroom analysis. So 3-bedroom we have simple 2 floor plans. C1, C2. C1 is actually the classic compact lah. No yard, no WC. But of course we still have 3 proper bedrooms, right? And this unit is the one that has 2 stacks.
Correct. Over here.
Yep. All facing the school.
All the 3-bedder are actually school side facing. And actually it's very rare to have a project with so little 3-bedder. Just 3 stacks only.
I mean, in comparison as a percentage to the rest, I guess.
Okay lah,
fair
still fair lah. Okay, so we have one that is 926 and one that is 1023, which is the slightly bigger one.
Correct.
In terms of layout, they are pretty much quite similar.
Except the premium one has the storeroom,
Yard area,
the yard,
study
the
room,
WC.
the yard area,
WC.
and the WC lah.
Yeah, I guess the C2P is a layout that a lot of upgraders are very, very comfortable with as compared to the compact where they don't have a storeroom, they don't have a place for their helper lah. Right?
Okay, now let's look at the price prediction.
So a price prediction, as usual, we'll actually start from 2,200 PSF. It's actually from 2.037 to actually 2.461. For 3-bedroom at 2 million
Yeah.
Can buy not?
Can buy. Some more, this is not the 800 plus 3-bedder. This is the 900 plus
926
square feet 3-bedder. So if it's this kind of starting price, I think don't need to think already lah.
Again, we are harmonized project, means aircon latch is not included. A YouTube subscriber actually watched my videos and then he said like, how come the room size, right, is actually like 8.8 or 9 square meters as compared to a pre-harmonized, right, when actually the measurements are the same, but the square meter is different. So what we want to clarify here, right, is that for harmonized projects, they actually take the measurements from middle of the wall to middle of the wall, as compared to last time when it's just wall to wall, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But actually, if you talk about the floor plan, right, just now, we can actually see all these measurements on top, right? That is the actual measurements on how the room sizes will be. But it's just that the measurement of the square meters to square feet, according for the authorities,
it's a bit different way of calculating. So if you really want to exact, then just look at this kind of measurement.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
This one, like I say, it will be the price prediction for Elta 3-bedder, 926 square feet. Okay, so if you want, you can pause here, take a screen grab. Next one will be the price prediction for Elta 3-bedder, 1023 square feet.
Yep.
Okay, so now we go into Clervon.
Clervon. So past transacted for Clervon, I mean, we will always use Clervon because it's just right next door, right?
Yeah, and it's
actually,
new.
Clervon, you see, 2,100 PSF, 2.1 million. Nothing is going below 2 million.
Yeah, so we are looking at basically, in terms of an older condo and a newer condo, but in terms of PSF, very, very similar. Let's say we are pricing at 2,200. I believe actually Clervon, maybe next few months, they can already, this one already 2,192 already.
Yeah, exactly.
Easily they hit 2,002. So actually, there's no price gap.
No.
Yeah, so you want newer or you want older, but you're paying the same amount. So the choice is yours. Okay?
So Clervon owners actually also make a very, very handsome profit. 500,000 Pauputel.
400 plus high one, 492 to all the way about 560 something. Yeah, so this is the profit range that you're looking at.
This is for the small one, 958 square feet.
Correct. So now you look at the bigger one.
Bigger one selling at 2.3, 2.4.
PSF again already hit the 2,000 plus 2,194 also. Okay, and then in terms of profit, it's actually in a higher range, the 500,000 to about 600,000 also clocked already.
So I guess people really, really do love this area, right?
Correct. And why are we showing you all this is because this could potentially be the case of Elta as well.
Correct. Something you can reference to lah.
Correct. So now let's go to our 3-bedder top choice.
So we actually predict this floor plan will sell out first,
which is the 1023 square feet.
Right.
Because most of the people, if let's say they are buying here for own stay, it only makes sense to have additional, like for example, yard area, WC, storeroom, and dry kitchen. So this is also one of our biggest 3-bedder available. And honestly, it's not like super big also, because there are some that is 1,119 square feet in the market.
But so it's have everything you need lah. And I think based on the size, your quantum is easily acceptable. It's about 2.25 million based on 2,200 PSF lah.
Correct. But we also did put a note here to cut off at 2,006 lah, because if you were to paying 2,006 for 1023 square feet unit, then you'll be very similar to the low floor, the 4-bedder range, which we're coming to show you next already.
Yep.
So if let's say the PSF cross this amount already, if you can stretch a little bit, let's go for the 4-bedder.
Correct. So we'll go into the 4-bedroom analysis. So for 4-bedders, we actually have 4 different layouts. Right, the D1, D2. D1 is the smallest one, 1,184 square feet, AYE facing.
Yes, this is also a typical HDB 5-room size, 1184. Okay, next up we have 1313, which is typically quite big for a 4-bedder as well.
It's a school facing.
School facing. So in terms of difference between these two layouts,
junior master for the premium.
Over here, so you have a junior master. Over here, you don't have, and it's all 8.8, 8.8. There's a room that is slightly smaller, 8.1. But this one, you realize is 8.8, 8.8, and wow, 9 already. And also, this one has a slightly bigger master room as compared to our 1184. And of course, a much bigger living space as compared to our D1. But generally, everything else stays the same.
Almost the same.
Okay.
But it's just that for upgraders, right, I think D1 and the largest 3-bedroom, the 3-room premium, right, is actually very, very attractive for them. So I feel that between these two floor plans, right, the 3-bedroom premium and the 4-bedroom, the smaller one, I think it will be snapped up quite fast.
Yeah, I also think so. Next, we go into our
dual key.
Correct.
Our favorite.
Our favorite, and what you'll be seeing in the show flat as well.
I think recently dual keys has been making a comeback. It has been gone for so long, and then suddenly it's like, wow, every project also have one dual key.
Yes, and actually one interesting thing is just now we're mentioning that Ori has a 3-bedder dual key and Elta has a 4-bedder dual key. So we were just saying that actually I think most people will appreciate 4-bedder dual key a little bit more than a 3-bedder dual key.
Yeah, I think it makes a little bit more sense. If let's say I have a family, then I'll be like, okay, I may rent out that one side, right?
Correct. So over here, at least you got a 3-room that is very functional for your own family. You can rent out 1 room, or you can actually leave it for your parents to stay with you, like multi-generation, and you still have your proper 3-bedder over here. And if you are going to rent it all out, right, rental in this area, right, let's just say that the 1-bedder, similar to Claiborne, 1-bedder 3.6 and 3-bedder 6.3, total is about 9,900, close to 10,000 already.
Actually not bad.
Not bad. And if we look at the assumption, let's say it's 2,200 PSF, you're looking at 2.888600, right? Then your rental yield is actually 4%. Already cost your 3.5, 3.6.
I haven't seen such a rental yield for very long for new launches.
So in terms of rental, it's actually quite good.
Yep.
In terms of own stay, if let's say your family dynamic need this, is quite good. The only down point is maybe next time might be a little bit more difficult to exit.
You will need time lah. So if let's say you stay there, then you don't mind slowly to sell, then okay lah. But if let's say it's really for pure rentability and I really want to use this property to flip, then obviously it's not for you lah.
Yeah, I think pure rental, if let's say in this case, still okay. But if you want to buy to flip immediately, then it's a bit harder. Okay, next is the biggest.
The 4-bedroom plus studies. So like the name suggests, this is with a study. Okay, but then compared to the other 4-bedroom layout, right, this one has a home shelter. Just now it was a store.
Correct. Over here.
So there's a wider living and dining as well as compared to the smaller ones. However, one thing to note got no private lift.
Yeah. Unfortunately, don't have, which we will come to that later. Basically, actually, the bigger part is, of course, living room bigger, maybe the master room bigger, storeroom slightly bigger, study slightly bigger, balcony maybe a bit bigger. That's about it. So now we look at the 4-bedroom Claiborne profitability.
Yeah, so we have actually compiled all the different 4-bedroom sizes, 1281, 1356, 1582. And actually all of them Actually, you see, the 906,000 is disturbing me.
Don't see this lah. But mostly, usually their profit is around the 700 plus thousand range. 700 to 800 for the bigger type. The smaller type maybe 5 to 600,000.
Yep.
This 906, I don't know what did they do lah. Maybe it's a very, very extensive renovation because resale, like we say, a lot of emotion plays a part. So we won't exactly know why lah. Okay.
But then Clevon will be your direct competitor in the resale market. So why we will actually bring up Clevon's floor plan is because Clevon actually, interestingly, they have a private lift, right? So in my honest opinion,
yes, you want to say the good one or the bad one first?
I'm saying my very, very, very honest opinion. If let's say I'm a buyer today going at Clementi Avenue 1, I would think that Clevon has a nicer floor plan.
Agree? Because it's a landscape layout.
Yeah.
And it has a private lift.
Yeah.
Right? And then after that,
the walk-in wardrobe at one corner is a nice touch.
Yeah, this one is
not
also
a deal
quite
breaker,
nice.
but a nice touch.
Correct.
Yeah, but the only drawback for Clevon is that they didn't have attached bathroom for bedroom 4 lah.
Okay. So for ours, we have a attached bathroom over here.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is the good part of Clevon ma. Because if let's say I'm a buyer and I look at this floor plan, wow, definitely I will go into Clevon.
Correct.
Because it has everything that I want. Elta maybe lose a little bit lah. But in terms of, because Clevon is actually a non-harmonized project.
Correct.
Meaning to say that, they actually count in their aircon ledgers, and things like that. But ours, never.
Yeah, it's 1507 pure usable space.
Correct.
Right.
So actually their usable space might not be so high. It might be quite similar to this. Yeah, so I think that is the saving grace of Elta lor. Yeah, because we cannot be saying everything is good, everything buy ma. So if when we do this kind of comparison, we also can tell you that actually Clevon, the 4-bedder premium, is a bit more attractive than Elta.
Okay.
But it's not that Elta is not good at all.
But Elta's 4-bed plus study, every bedroom is ensuite lah, if you put it in a way.
Yeah, so there you go, we have the good and bad lah. So next, 4-bedder top choice, it will be
I think just now we kind of make it quite clear lah. I mean, because the D1 and D2P, right, is very, very acceptable by upgraders. Right, you have everything that you need. Then you have 4 proper bedrooms, right?
Correct. So for me, the first choice will be actually D1 1184 because number one, in terms of quantum, of course, it is the cheapest. In terms of like upgraders and things like that, if you're upgrading from a 5-room HDB to this, you feel that the size is still the same.
Very comfortable.
1184 comfortable, and in terms of quantum, easy to accept, right? For 1313, it will be a bit more premium already. If I want to upgrade and then I want like maybe a junior master,
it will really purely be just for the junior master that I feel.
Correct. So it depends on you, but I think that if we are looking at the 1,500 over square feet, the biggest for Elta, right? Then
you
that
can
one,
consider the 5-bedroom.
Yeah, you can actually stretch a little bit to go for the 5-bedder already, because if not, the 1.5 something one, the quantum will be quite high.
Correct.
Right? Then now we go into our 5-bedder analysis.
So for 5-bedroom, right, actually the layout is not too far off from the 4-bedroom. I mean, yes, we have a wider living room, dining room.
Correct, this is bigger. And then of course we have the junior master on one side.
Powder room.
Powder room is very important because I don't know if you realize that previously when we do one video, we were saying about this 5-room, it has everything, but it don't really have a lot of toilet. Then when you host, if anyone got stomach issue, then it's gonna be a bit weird. But this one, don't
condo
worry.
downstairs still got toilet.
You come my house, I ask you go downstairs, use toilet.
In bo pian, then okay lah. At least got choice lah, right?
But for this one, it's quite good layout lah, because you see the 2 common room, right? They actually have a jet and jill bathroom.
Correct.
They shared. There's a powder room over here. And then of course there is a WC at the back. And then after junior master, there's a toilet. So basically every one of them, they have ensuite toilet.
Correct. Just that the junior master, I think, don't have window lah, but small matter lah.
Yeah, yes. You mean the toilet lah?
Yeah.
The window is here very big.
No, the
toilet, no window. Yes. Okay, so that's about
2 junior masters actually.
Oh yeah, if you never say, I didn't realize. There's
that's why I was referring to this one. This one that don't have the window don't have toilet. The window don't have toilet. The toilet don't have window.
This one toilet also don't have window. So okay lah. But at least they give you actually 2 junior master, which is very rare. In the market.
Yeah.
So now we compare it with Clevon.
Again.
Yeah, I mean Clevon this time round, okay, in terms of layout, a lot of people will prefer this because landscape layout, you have a private lift right? But now, I want to just point out that, sorry, Clevon only have 1 junior master.
Okay, is it a deal breaker?
let me win. At least get the Elta win a bit. Just now I was like, oh shit, Clever like much better. But now at least I know that
There's
Elta,
2 junior master.
we got 2 junior master. Okay, and we have 1 more extra powder room. So for this one, you realize that they don't have the powder room already, lor. So they have the private lift.
Yeah.
They don't have a Jack and Jill, right? And then they have quite a nice master with like a walk-in wardrobe concept. But ours also, Elta also have. So technically speaking, Actually, if you're asking me now, I prefer this layout. Okay, because there is a powder room here, Jack and Jill, so nobody need to, rush it through. The only thing that is maybe a bit of a down is no landscape layout and also the private lift law. Because we also know that 5-bedder, when you are that kind of caliber, you want the best. You want to have private lift, a little bit more exclusive. So I guess you can find those.
So to you, it's not a deal breaker lah.
It's not a deal breaker. I rather have toilets. I rather everybody, got proper toilet. And this one, the walk-in wardrobe is also slightly, I feel that it's a little bit bigger. And the fact that there is actually 2 junior master, which is very rare to come by even for a 5-bedder.
Elta's walk-in wardrobe is 2 sides, although the other one is a bit shorter lah. But Clevon is only 1 side.
Correct. So this one feels about right to me lah. So right now, I feel that Clevon is a little bit better because during our discussion earlier, we were saying that Clevon wins everything. Some more it's a smaller unit, quantum will be lower. Which is true lah, right? So it really depends on you, what kind of preference you are. But if let's say I'm going to pay 1776, I'm going to pay $3.9 million. Let's say if
give me more toilets, is it?
I think cannot justify Also cannot justify. So I might go back to Clever already. But it's preference law. So this one might be a bit harder to accept, but I also don't think that the PSF will be this high. If let's say we cannot be like 1-bedder to 5-bedder all same PSF.
Correct.
This
but
one might be a bit lower.
Also, we also have to realize Clevon, owners of Clevon are actually sitting on a very, very huge profit. Right? So if let's say you buy a resale 5-bedder from Clevon, you must be very, very aware that these people may potentially sit on a $1 million profit. And there is your risk lah.
Correct.
For a resale property.
Yeah. So next we go for same thing is the private lift one, which we mentioned. This one is actually comparing it with Park Clementis.
Correct.
Similarly, Park Clementis will have the landscape layout, but their layout is a little bit more unique. They also have foyer lift, but it's actually elongated style with a lot of wasted space in over here as a corridor.
They have all their bedrooms tucked to one side lah, so get the same view, I guess.
Correct. So, pros and cons. And
yeah.
this one is actually 1711 square feet, which is quite similar to 1776, but this is actually non-harmonized.
Correct.
Yeah, so the usable space itself might be lesser than, we never count lah, but it might be lesser than Elta in this case.
Most likely lesser.
Correct. So it really depends on you, what kind of layout do you prefer, especially between Elta and Clementi's, because this one, you actually have a slightly bigger storeroom area. All the rooms, like what Mel say, is actually facing one side. So if you have nice view, in this area, you're gonna have the nice view here lah. Okay, so now we have reached to the end of our analysis. So this is my QR code. You can just scan and reach out to me directly. Of course, all this prediction is based on what we predicted now, and things can change, day by day, especially when there's more information coming in. And the analysis might change itself as well. So just reach out directly, and I'll be able to assist you with it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.